Hello and welcome to your May edition of Essential Cardano360, your monthly roundup of just some of the latest news and developments from across the Cardano ecosystem, brought to you from the team here at IOG. Now, before we dive in, if you're watching on YouTube, please remember to subscribe and hit that bell icon, plus hit the thumbs up and drop us a comment for the algorithm, even if it's just to say hello. The team here is actually pretty friendly, so we might even say hello right back at you. Now, lots of nice updates for you this month. The team behind Marlowe will join us later as they look to begin their transition into an open source, community-driven project. Plus, we'll also hear from zkFold, and member-based organisation Intersect will be here to give us their regular monthly update. Plus, we'll also have a brief recap of the successful BuilderFest event from Arnaud Bailey. Talking of events, the second half of the year is going to be busier than ever, with multiple opportunities to get together as a community. Now, some of you may be watching this from Austin, Texas this week, where consensus is in full swing. So a shout out to our friends from Intersect, Genius Yield, Genius X, Emergo, Hosky, Atrium, and many, many others hosting or attending events and meetups there over in Austin this week. Now, throughout the second half of 2024, there'll be a host of different ways for you to get to hang out with your fellow community members, get involved with governance, catch up with old friends, or make some new ones. There'll be dozens of governance workshops, culminating in the Constitutional Convention at the end of the year. You can join a DRep workshop in person or virtually, head to the Cardano Summit, and much more. And here's another one for your calendars. RareEvo returns to a new home in Las Vegas. After 3 years, it promises not just the largest attendance ever, but also looks to draw in wider blockchain communities, making it a true multi-chain event with Cardano at its core. Let's catch up with Wes Parkinson and Rand McHenry to hear more about this year's show. So Rand, Wes, you've both been around for some time and many of the community will be familiar with you. But for those who aren't, perhaps you can tell us some more about yourselves.
Thank you for having us. It's exciting to be here. We've watched plenty of 360 episodes being in the community, so it's an honor to be on one officially. My name's Rand McHenry. I'm the co-founder of Rare Network and the event RareEvo. I do more of like the back end, live events, production stuff, and I'll let Wes introduce himself.
Yeah, my name is Wes Parkinson, co-founder here with Rand and another solid 6 team members that work full-time for Rare Network. We're also known for being the hosts of RareEvo, which is a blockchain industry event. I'm going on 12 years of traditional software consultancy and sales architecture experience in the content services industry, specifically healthcare. But along the way, found the more interesting tech that I would say we have a shared passion for, which is Web3 and blockchain. And so Rand and I, in the early days, we spun up the Rare stake pool, and from there built a brand really and created a mission that we shared together with the Cardano community first, and really pushed towards the multi-chain vision that maybe wasn't always a thing, but is certainly trending, and I think everyone's seeing the benefit in.
So this year, of course, RareEvo is heading to Las Vegas. Can you tell us more about that and what makes the event so special?
RareEvo is an amazing event. It's our 3rd year of producing RareEvo. We're really excited. First year in Las Vegas, it's at Caesars Palace. We're in the main ballroom, August 15th through the 17th. It's a multi-chain blockchain industry event. We're aiming to be the lead blockchain industry event for North America going forward. We've got everybody from Cardano Foundation, IO, Emergo, to VeChain, to ICP, to Avalanche, to Ethereum DeFi projects, and all types of fun and art lined up, and excitement, music, after parties at the Omnia nightclub, all different ways to network and side parties happening there and learn about the blockchain. And even for the developers, there's a full hackathon going on with bounties that are in the tens of thousands. I think we're reaching above $30,000 in bounties currently right now, with Midnight participating, Alchemix and ETH Denver project, and then projects in the Cardano ecosystem like Maestro and WanChain are hosting part of that hackathon as well. So really excited to be putting on a well-rounded North American blockchain event where we can all come together and network in Las Vegas.
I think what really makes us unique is we're an open door to all projects at any size. We have everyone from the head of blockchain in our programming on our main stage, down to the true degens. So we're definitely a professional networking event. However, we allow projects with any marketing budget virtually to acclimate to the conference experience and understand how they can get an ROI, through our pricing as well as our support as a company to our customers to bring them aboard, most commonly as an exhibitor, and establish a real long-term relationship, create a great first impression by really providing value and a high likelihood that they'll see a return on their experience, whether through community engagement, community growth, forming extremely good partnerships for optics or the mission ahead. And of course, everyone's out there looking for new investors. So with all of that kind of combined, you not only have a great professional networking experience, but also an amazing Vegas experience to, cut loose and have a little fun in the physical, not online. And what we see most is, people change. Tribalism goes away. There's a very communal vibe that everyone is there for the same mission and long-term goal. And that being world adoption and mass adoption when it comes to blockchain technology.
So IOG, of course, is very excited to be a sponsor again this year and looking forward to attending. But can you maybe tell us more about some of the other companies and organizations involved?
So our main sponsors this year are IOG, Emergo, Cardano Foundation, VChain, Thorchain is making it their annual meetup of the year. We have Shapeshift, Eric Voorhees' company, Ronin, which is Sky Mavis and Axie Infinity, a gaming chain. Bitmain and Marathon Mining will be out there, to name a few. Sappy Seals, M Labs, Vi Finance, Decentral Games, Clay Nation, Hosky, Coordinate, Maestro, Iagon, Wanchain. I mean, the list goes on and on. I suggest people go to rareevo.io to find out more information on there. Speakers from Microsoft, Elena Banner coming back. Speakers from Deloitte, Raquel coming to speak about AI and blockchain and how that's intersecting. We've got Margie Fang from Bitmain talking about ASICs and proof of work, and a lot of that conversation still going on with Marathon Mining, the public company. Book.io will be there with Joshua and Ben, and a lot of also media partners and content creators like the Altcoin Daily brothers, Ashley Decan, who regularly has interactions with Elon on Twitter, professional poker players like Joey Ingram and Phil Hellmuth and a lot of others, to professional and media partners like Rachel Wolfson from Cointelegraph and others, and a lot of gaming content creators and others. We often find a lot of these events lead to year-round marketing deals between content creators and projects.
If you're there for the Cardano community or interested, this is the place to be. And if you're in the Cardano community, this is also the place to be able to branch out and understand how you can form that bridge to other chains and other communities and kind of strengthen within as well as outside.
So alongside your work on RareEvo, you've also been heavily involved in Catalyst and Catalyst workshops this year. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, Catalyst has been a huge help in our business. Wes and I started participating in Fund 9, and it's helped us with Rare Bloom, the event, ensuring our stage was up to par and we were able to go a lot bigger and better than we would normally be able to do as a first-year event, and helping us there so much. We've been a part of the Catalyst community for years now and watched it grow fund after fund, and it's been absolutely amazing to participate. This year alone, Fund 11, we used it to do the travel to Paris Blockchain Week and the side event there, Token 2049. We did NFT ticketing on our website this year. That was absolutely amazing, and we're looking to build out a lot more of that in Fund 12. And also in Fund 11, we were able to collaborate with the Catalyst team directly, helping with the working groups and putting those together all over the world. And that was an absolutely amazing experience for us. I mean, we know how to do live events here in North America. I've done them for 20 years, but I haven't organized them in, let's say, Thailand or Australia or even the Ukraine during, a war-torn situation. some of those meetings were really touching and amazing to go through and to be a part of with the Catalyst team and work through communication issues and different language barriers and things like that was really amazing. And to cap it all off, the Fund 12 launch in Barcelona was absolutely amazing. Getting everybody together and to be able to celebrate the community and how far it's come, how much it's really grown. Catalyst as a project on the bleeding edge of decentralized treasuries and governance, I think was really amazing. And I literally have goosebumps here just thinking about it. And I'm excited to keep going. And I'm excited for Fund 12 and to keep pushing forward and working with Catalyst as much as we can.
So before we finish, a call to action. How can people get in touch or learn more about the event?
If people are looking to come to RareEvo Las Vegas in August, rareevo.io is where you get tickets. It's where you book hotel rooms. You could even purchase a booth on there. You can grab the Calendly link to get a meeting with the team from there. You can also find us at RareEvo on Twitter, Rare Network Media on YouTube, and any one of those places you'll find a link to get into our Discord, which we are in 24/7, 365. It's probably our worst habit is working on this business all day, every single day and night. So I think that's the best way to get a hold of us and find out more is jump in the Discord and say hello.
Indeed. We'll see everyone in Vegas at Caesars Palace, August 15th through the 17th. Mark your calendar, get your travel book, and make sure you check out rareevo.io to get the best deal on your hotel. So you can kind of live like an emperor, I would say, at Caesars and get that true Vegas treatment.
Thank you so much. I look forward to watching this at the end of the month while we're all at Consensus. It's going to be amazing.
So thanks to Wes and Ran for that. IOG is delighted to be sponsoring the event and will be there in force in Las Vegas this August. So make sure you get your tickets early if you're able to join us. And of course, keep an eye out on all the social channels for virtual opportunities to also get involved. Marlowe's engineering journey has always been rooted in the idea of making the Cardano development process easier, providing a turnkey solution for modeling financial transactions with simplicity and security. Marlowe offers a comprehensive set of open source tools to design, validate, and deploy smart contracts, whatever your expertise in software development. Now, it's come a long way since it was first conceived, and as it's matured, has won over new fans and builders from across the Cardano community. Now it's ready to enter the next phase of its journey, spun out as a community-maintained project, steered by its users, with a proposal in Catalyst Fund 12 to support an exciting future roadmap. I caught up with Marlowe creator Simon Thompson and developer Thomas Rybacek to hear more about their plans. So Simon Thomas, it's been a while since we've had you on the show. So for anyone new, can you give us a recap of your role and the inception of Marlowe?
So I'm Simon Thompson. For a long time, I worked at the University of Kent in the UK. And a number of years ago, Charles approached us and said he'd like to work with us to build a special purpose language for writing financial contracts on Cardano. And that was how Marlowe was born. It was initially developed as a research project at Kent, and then it was mainstreamed into working with IOG.
And I'm Thomas. I'm one of the developers behind Marlowe. I joined the team 2.5 years. And yeah, I'm really excited about it. I really like the project.
So Simon, you mentioned that Marlowe was born from this idea of becoming a special purpose language for writing financial smart contracts. Can you tell us more about the advantages of that and what it means for the developer?
Sure. Well, as I said, Charles was keen to look at different kinds of languages that would run on a blockchain. I mean, he'd always been committed to running functional languages on blockchain and looked towards Haskell as inspiration for Plutus. But I guess, Plutus is there as a general purpose language for writing any kind of contract, whereas you can build something that people in the programming languages community have done for a long time, is build special purpose languages that can be higher level, closer to the user, which can express things like a financial contract. And so that's where Marlowe came in. And the advantage of doing that is that you can think about things at a higher level. You don't have to think about what code is on chain, what code is off chain. You simply write the high level description of the contract, and then the system itself can provide the on chain and off chain components of that. And so it's a more approachable technology for writing certain kinds of contracts. So I think that was where the original curiosity came from. And we built it as a research project, and then it got mainstreamed into an engineering project inside IOG.
So, of course, moving something from a concept to something that can actually be used by developers actually brings with it its own set of challenges. Thomas, can you tell us more about some of the early days there?
So obviously the main intellectual adventure was on Simon's side and people who co-created the papers. I'm rather working B and implementing those ideas on the chain. But still, I agree with you that there is a lot of challenges. We want to at the end provide efficient implementation on the chain, and we want to relieve developers so they don't have to do this mundane task like managing UTXOs, those low-level engineering. We want to facilitate submission of the contracts, progression through the contracts, so they don't have to bother with those lower level pieces. So at the end there is also nice engineering part in it, meaning we want to build nice APIs on top, every developer can use. REST APIs, nice to use, TypeScript SDKs on top. So that's my perspective. Still challenging, engineering, and intellectually fascinating.
So talking about community participation and building real-world use cases, can you maybe share some of your perspectives on that?
As Thomas was saying, we've provided an SDK in TypeScript so that people can access Marlowe as a component, if you like, inside a bigger DApp. And that allows, for the right sort of application, people to write the core contract in a safe way. That's one of the other things that a special purpose language does, is provide guarantees that, for example, a contract won't hold on to funds indefinitely. And so allows Marlowe, for the right kind of application, to have Marlowe at the center of building a complete application. So we've got one audience is DApp developers, another audience is end users. And then if we move on to that, I mean, we've got a project working on providing rewards for GitHub called GitHoney, and that's built by TXPipe, a well-known developer on Cardano. And they are planning to use Marlowe as the key contract inside their reward system for people contributing to GitHub, for example. And that's nice because GitHub itself is a community-based enterprise, and providing rewards on top of that is a particularly nice application. I think, Thomas, would you point to any other applications?
We have other uses, for example, token allies, or we did some raffles for one stake pool. And I would like to add one point to what Simon was talking about. We had a lot of feedback from the users, which is more like real use cases feedback, driven feedback. So real use cases driven feedback. And this gives us a bit different perspective on the language, because the language has pretty abstract overview of the contract, and there are those connecting pieces to the blockchain which can make a big difference in practical use cases. So, for example, the bounty system which Simon mentioned, we want to enhance it so we can do micropayments on the chain using Marlowe, where parts of the payment is already committed off-chain, and we can save transactions on the main chain. Using this kind of approach. So we have a lot of ideas in our next roadmap for the next year, and we have a lot of ideas also related to the language, which we're gonna also develop further on.
So of course, community contribution has really organically become part of Marlowe's DNA. Can you tell me more about what that means for Marlowe as it transitions into this new form of community-based stewardship?
We're really grateful to everyone who's contributed, both developers and end users, giving us perspective on what's happening with Marlowe. So the direction we're looking in is to form something like a Marlowe Foundation, which will be a non-profit, which will be the vehicle that will hold the IP, a bit like the Linux Foundation. But inside that, what we want to do is build a special interest group, which will allow all the stakeholders in Marlowe, end users, developers, other ecosystem partners, to get together and discuss the different directions in which Marlowe can go. Now, one of the things we've done, we've put in an application to Catalyst Fund 12 to fund what we call Marlowe 2025. And the milestones in there are very much driven by the user feedback that Thomas was talking about earlier on. So we built, it's a big application. It's not the only application we're going to submit for. There are future funds coming out, and there will be other things we'd like to do, like look at the core language itself.
As Simon said, we want to separate two tracks, and currently we're submitting to some kind of more practical and engineering focused changes to the validator. We won't touch the language itself, But the features which we want to implement are pretty exciting. We want to introduce partial commitment, often commitments which can be used for those micropayments, for example. We want to put a lot of work into the TypeScript SDK, so that's our really strong focus as well. So we want to make developers' life as easy as it could be to deploy and develop contracts. We also started coordinating work with oracles. We want to create a spec for a protocol which is Marlowe Oracle protocol, which brings to the table or to the discussion around oracles a lot of value. I won't dive into this, but please read our spec of that. So as you can see, we're gonna focus really on user-driven stories and practical value, which can be easily included in a journey of a company which wants to switch from or add Web3 to Web2 web page or something like this. We really want to facilitate and lower the risk, business risk, time risk involved in onboarding developers to the blockchain.
So Simon, you've been very much a champion of Marlowe since its inception. What does it mean for Marlowe now, and how can the community get involved in this new phase?
We've set up a special interest group for Marlowe, and that will have met once already by the time this broadcast goes out. But the next meeting will be on June the 4th, and we'll put a link out alongside the 360 so that anyone can join that. So that is it meets every fortnight, and it's there as a place that people can discuss. And we can try and formulate together a roadmap for the wider community. It provides a basis by which people can collaborate. And of course, we're keen to collaborate with anyone and everyone out there. You know, it is, as we're moving to this much more open development model, we're keen to collaborate with other Catalyst-funded enterprises and so on. So getting involved with a special interest group, and there is a Discord channel. At the moment, we're meeting, and you know, we're very grateful to IOG for providing transitional resources for us as we go independent. So we're using IOG's Discord for the moment. We're looking to set up the foundation in the next few months, and then we can transition the IP across to the foundation. To maintain the momentum there is in the developer team, what we want to do is isolate what we see as the key piece of engineering work that will sustain the Marlowe project over the next 12 months. And that's what's there in this proposal called Marlowe 2025. So please do join in. There are loads of things to do, and you know, the more people can get involved, the faster we can move.
So thanks to Simon and Thomas for stopping by. And as Simon mentioned, the next community meetup for Marlowe will be happening next week. So get involved and help drive its future. And while you're at it, check out Marlowe's Catalyst Fund 12 proposal to learn more about the proposed roadmap. You'll find all the links below. Developers are at the heart of any blockchain ecosystem. These are the folks that ideate, explore, and create the solutions that bring innovation, utility, and enable new use cases for all of us. And while they may be busy building innovative new products, they're all collectively leveraging the capabilities of the core chain. That's why events like BuilderFest are so important to the wider Cardano developer community, giving folks a chance to come together and discuss how they'd like to see Cardano evolve and improve. IOG Developer Relations lead, Rupert Whitehead, sat down with lead software architect and one of the organisers of BuilderFest, Arnaud Bailey, to hear more about the recent event in Toulouse, France.
Hello, I'm Rupert Whitehead, Developer Relations Lead at IOG. And Arnaud, are you happy to introduce yourself?
Thank you, Rupert. So I'm Arnaud Bailly. I'm lead software architect at IOG.
So we talked about the Builder Conference in our previous 360 interviews. So for those who missed it, what is BuilderFest?
So BuilderFest is the first installment of hopefully a series of conferences in the Cardano ecosystem. And it came out of discussions that took place in the community over the past couple of years to provide a venue and a kind of conference which would be more focused on technical matters and which would allow builders, so what we call builders as a joke. So people who are building on Cardano, people who are also building Cardano itself to come together in a single place and be in the same time and space and engage in a more direct way to really explore the current situation. What are the main problems the community and Cardano is facing, and how to solve those problems?
Brilliant. I was there. I certainly enjoyed it. But how did you feel it went?
Honestly, it felt really good. It went very well. Everything really fell in place quite nicely. Talks were very good. A lot of discussion took place. The venue was perfectly sized. The number of people there were just the right size to have a lot of conversation going on. a lot of opportunities for things to pop up inadvertently. The open space came as a surprise for a lot of people, as something that was new, surprising, and works very well to really give room for everyone to talk about it.
For those who aren't familiar with an open space, what is that?
I mean, this is something that this is a kind of what we call an unconference. So it's a way to organize a conference without organizing a conference. And the key idea is to let everyone propose sessions and topics about what they care about, what matters, and let the people organize themselves. And it turns out that it sounds a bit chaotic and messy, but it actually works quite well in practice because it makes it possible and it makes it easy for people to really choke and engage with like-minded people and talk about things that they care a lot about.
It was great seeing the energy and the ideas exchanged in all of those talks and in the sessions as well. Were there any areas you'd improve about the event?
The main area would be around the venue, so probably find a location which might be more convenient for more people. I think trying to find a venue which is even more cozy, something like, and so one idea we came up with was to make sure the next time, if we do that again in our hotel, make sure we privatize the whole hotel so that we have all the space for us. And this is a good way to ensure that, every single moment is an opportunity for conversations and things to happen.
There was amazing networking connections, and it was just developers there. I'd love to see another one. Do you have one planned?
That's a good question. That's a question we get a lot. We don't have anything planned. Neither Matthias nor I are actively planning for it. I think we would like probably in the future do it again, but we also want the community to take the organization of more BuilderFest in their hands and organize BuilderFest, all over the world as they see fit. We provide a blueprint. I mean, kind of a blueprint. This is one possible way to organize it. We're very happy to share that. But yeah, we really want people from the community to take it in their own hands.
You've hit on a very successful blueprint, so I'd love to see more of those. How do we encourage community members to get in touch? Is there a way they should be getting in touch with you if they're interested in running one themselves? And that could be anywhere in the world.
Sure. I think that the easiest way is to go onto the website for the conference, which is biddle.2024.cardano.org. And from there, it's very easy to find us. We provide our social network handles and various ways to get in touch. So probably the best entry point.
Fantastic. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing more of these BuilderFests around the world, and thank you very much for organizing it.
Thank you very much, Rupert.
So thanks to Arnaud and Rupert for that. And let's hope we see BuilderFest becoming a regular event for the developer community. Zero-knowledge proofs are a cryptographic method used to prove your knowledge about a piece of data without having to reveal the data itself. As well as powering new privacy and security use cases, it can also improve scalability by reducing the amount of data that needs to be processed and stored on the blockchain. So, unsurprisingly, zero-knowledge or zk technology continues to be a hot topic across the industry, and zkFold is one of the projects leading the charge on Cardano. IOG's Matthew Capps caught up with founder and CTO of zkFold, Vladimir Sinyakov, to unpack what the technology means for the ecosystem and where he sees his project going.
Vladimir, thanks so much for joining us on the show. Could you give an introduction both to yourself and also to zkFold?
So I've joined Cardano about 2.5 years ago. I started building with a small project called mCoins. And about 1 year ago, me and my co-founder Stanislav, we decided to create a zkFold project, which is a project dedicated to scaling Cardano blockchain and the ecosystem with layer 1 and layer 2 products. And our first product is called zkFold Symbolic, which is a smart contract programming language for zk smart contracts.
Yeah, so could you tell us a little bit more about zkFold Symbolic?
So it is a programming language for creating zero-knowledge smart contracts, which are smart contracts that use zk-proof technology, and they extend the capabilities of regular smart contracts. They provide more efficiency in terms of reducing fees and enabling more complex business logic.
Could you tell us a little bit more then about how zero knowledge technology creates those kinds of effects?
So in zk proof protocols, there are two parties, the prover and the verifier. And basically the prover tries to convince the verifier that he did the computation and he got a particular result, right? And so the prover runs the computation that he has, then produces the result, then creates a proof, and then sends this proof and the result to the verifier. The verifier runs another algorithm called the verification algorithm, and after that, if it succeeds, he is convinced that the prover did the computation correctly. And so this is very cool in the context of blockchains, because the prover is usually either the DApp or the end user themselves who do the computation off-chain, and then they create the transaction and send it to the network. And then the network, the Cardano nodes, they verify those proofs, and that way they are convinced that all the business logic of the DApp was executed correctly. And this verification algorithm, in many cases, it is easier in terms of computations than the original business logic. So that way we could have basically cheaper smart contracts with more complex business logic on Cardano, like without changing any network parameters.
Yeah, so can you tell us a bit more about how moving those chunks of computation off-chain works, and how, properties of security and, all the things that people want to be on a blockchain for are preserved using this technology?
Basically, those zk protocols work like this, that if the verification protocol succeeds, like probabilistically, you should be convinced that the computation were performed correctly, even though they're performed on maybe untrusted machine. But the way zk proof works is that if you have a proof for certain computation, then you are basically convinced that the computation was performed correctly and produced a particular result, right? And yeah, it's basically as hard to fake as reversing a hash function or something like this. So in terms of security, this is almost as secure as it gets. And for our first tool is actually a layer 1 scalability solution called zkFold Symbolic. It's a programming language for zk-powered smart contracts. And the way it works is that, as I described, people could write their dApps, their smart contracts, where the business logic is executed off-chain, but then either the backend or the users themselves, they generate those proofs and they post transactions on chain, and in those transactions the proofs are verified. So yeah, it could be the same kind of dApps that we have on Cardano, but with increased efficiency this way. And in this solution, all data is posted on chain, so we do not use like any external data availability solution in this particular product. So it has basically the same Cardano security as just your regular dApps, regular smart contracts.
Well, so you mentioned your first product. Could you take us through zkFold's vision for the future, what it hopes to bring to Cardano?
The idea of our company started with the idea of a zk rollup on Cardano, which is a layer 2 scalability solution, where the transactions happen off-chain on a separate, let's say, a blockchain, and then they are batched together, and the proof of a batch is posted on Cardano. That was the original idea. Because this is a big undertaking, we decided to basically split it into like milestones, smaller projects that also have utility and could be useful on their own. for the ecosystem. And so the first such product is zkFold Symbolic, the zk smart contract programming language. And in the future, we plan to do a layer 2 solution as well. It is in the concept phase still, so currently we do not have a proposal related to it, but we are iterating on the idea, and I think in a few months we will start the actual development for this layer 2.
Zooming out a little bit, you mentioned there are some effects on Cardano. If zkFold is as successful as it can be, what is going to change for the Cardano ecosystem?
In the shorter term, I think we will start seeing smart contracts built using zkFold Symbolic product. And these smart contracts will have lower fees, and maybe they will incorporate more complicated business logic. And so like we could see more efficient versions of the existing dApps, or maybe some new applications, new use cases become economically viable. And in a longer term, we want to create a layer 2 scalability solution for Cardano. It is still in the concept phase, but I think in a few months we'll start the active development, and we'll be able to share more details then.
Great. Well, if there's anybody out there, whether they want to partner with you or just keep up with what you're doing, where should they go to stay in touch with you guys?
They could write us at info@zkfold.io. They could check out our website, zkfold.io. We also are present on X and on LinkedIn. And they could contact me directly. So we have several partners already, and we have several proposals for the next Project Catalyst funds. And basically we are currently trying to build on top of zkFold Symbolic.
Well, Vladimir, thank you so much for speaking with us today, and I'm really looking forward to see what comes next for zkFold.
Thank you, Matthew, for having me.
So thanks to Vladimir and Matt for that. And for more on zkFold, make sure you check out the links below. We're nearing the end of the show, but it wouldn't be Essential Cardano 360 without diving into governance. And as efforts around the Constitution, open source initiatives and beyond continue to ramp up, a few folks involved in building out Cardano's member-based organisation Intersect stopped by for another update. Over to Jack Briggs for more.
Hi everyone, I'm Jack Briggs. I am the Director of Marketing and Communications here at Intersect. I'm joined today by Lorenzo, who's the Head of Product Design, overseeing our governance tooling product series, including the distributed development of our open development approach. Lorenzo leads the Web3 and product architecture team here at Intersect. And I'm also joined by Valeria, who is the product owner and looking at the DRep Pioneer Workshop Leader Program, which she'll get into more details soon. And then lastly, Christian and Tex from the open source team. They've got a very exciting announcement. I'll save that for them. So let's get into it.
Hi everyone. Today I'm thrilled to share exciting details about the DRep Pioneer program. The DRep Pioneer program aims to empower a significant portion of the Cardano community within the knowledge and skills necessary to actively participate in Cardano's new governance role. This initiative also follows the implementation of governance features outlined in SIP 1694. The training program will be delivered by a diverse cohort of 15 workshop leaders selected through a meticulous and careful process. These leaders come from all over the world, bringing a mix of perspectives and also skills to the table. Each pioneer leader is tasked with creating, refining, and delivering direct training within their communities and regions. Our goal is to onboard a minimum of 800 new DReps by the conclusion of the first cohort. Currently, we are working actively together, collaborating and creating content and material to enhance the overall education offering. All the workshops leaders serve as well as ambassadors of knowledge, fostering a greater understanding and engagement among the Cardano enthusiasts and community. The place to find more information is the Intersect knowledge base as well as Sanchonet. These platforms will be your go-to for sources and updates. Thank you for your attention today and stay tuned for more updates.
So there are a couple of big themes rolling out across the summer and into the winter, notably the drafting of the Constitution and also creating a budget for Cardano into 2025. So firstly, thinking about the Constitution, with community input, the draft Constitution will build upon the essential guardrails described in the interim Constitution into really a more holistic set of principles, tenets, operations, governance operations, and then rights. But to ensure as many community members as possible have their say on the draft Constitution, Intersect is facilitating in-person workshops to be held around the world between sort of mid-July up until early October. Community members and Intersect members will have the opportunity to host and run these workshops in their local area, wherever they are in the world, and they'll be funded by Intersect grants. And then, of course, that final Constitution will be voted on by delegates at the convention before it's taken on-chain for a final ratification by the rest of the Cardano community. So it's a really exciting piece of work. The workshops are now open to apply to run. So if you want to host a workshop, you are very much encouraged to apply via our grants track, and you can find out more information in the links below. And if you can't host a workshop, we'd love as many of you to join workshops wherever they are happening around the world. And this is your best way of getting your voice heard in that final Constitution before it gets to Buenos Aires. Each workshop will select 2 delegates to be sent to Buenos Aires to vote on that workshop's behalf before, as I said, it goes on-chain for that final ratification by the rest of the community. So what will happen is, we have a final version of the Constitution that can be approved on-chain early in January 2025. And we are then out of the interim period, as we've described it, and into full on-chain governance. So the Constitution is a huge piece of work, and that's again a first for Cardano, and another first for Cardano is the budget for 2025. Early this May, we kicked off a brand new marketing working group. Over 100 different members and non-members have joined and are contributing to a unified marketing strategy to look at how we can market Cardano as a whole into 2025. And this supports the budget process. So can we come up with a marketing budget for Cardano into 2025? And how does this roll into the whole budget process for what is going to be a bigger budget overall for Cardano into next year? And these are the types of things that working groups and committees are doing right now in Intersect, thinking about what does it take to continue development for Cardano into 2025 and everything else that goes with it. So that's innovation, utility and adoption and more. So that's it from me this month. There will be more, of course, in June. And stay tuned to all of the weekly development updates that we share every Friday, where you can hear more. And if you want to get involved, please do join Intersect if you haven't already. And if you have, jump into working groups, jump into committees, and contribute as much as you can. Before I hand over to Lorenzo, I want to catch up with someone who has been very active in the Cardano community for years, and they're very well known across the space. Hosky has been selected as a DRep Pioneer Workshop Leader, and he joins me now. So congratulations, Hosky, on being selected as a DRep Pioneer Workshop Leader. How do you imagine that role playing out for you, and what are you planning to do to deliver to the rest of the community?
Right. So as a Pioneer leader, my role is to facilitate training, to provide participants with an understanding of Cardano's governance structure, the responsibilities of a DRep, and the importance of ethical behavior and engaging the community. Our goal is basically to ensure that DReps can represent the interests of all ADA holders, contribute to on-chain decision-making, and uphold the integrity of the governance process as a whole.
Yeah, thanks, Hosky. It's great to have you on board with the other 15 or the other 14. The code of conduct workshops that have been happening globally on DReps, would that be part of the sort of integrity and ethical education materials, do you think?
So yeah, absolutely. I do believe that the code of conduct workshops happening around the globe are going to be a big deal for the DRep Pioneer program. They will definitely be involved in the discussion. These workshops are definitely a key to making sure that all of the DReps know and follow the expected ethical standards and behaviors. The code of conduct itself lays out a lot of important principles like transparency, fairness, respect, Of course, that these are all important in keeping the trust and integrity of the Cardano community, as well as ensuring that the governance system itself can be trusted. So I believe that the workshops will be a huge help in understanding these principles and applying them to real life situations within blockchain governance.
So we know that the DRep Pioneer Workshop Leader Program is designed to deliver essentially a curriculum to help onboard new DReps when we hard fork into Chang later this summer. How are you imagining delivering your program to the communities that you are best in touch with?
So as a DRep pioneer, my job is not that of a DRep, although any pioneer can become a DRep in the future should they choose to. My role is to bring this information to the wider Cardano community and to teach them about what it takes to become a DRep. I will be holding 2 training sessions. One will be in person in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and the other one will be an online session that anybody will be able to attend. The dates for these sessions are still to be determined, so stay tuned for more updates.
Thanks, Hosky, for joining me, and now over to Lorenzo.
Thanks, Jack. I want to give you all an update about the governance tools. So as you know, the Essential Cardano tools is live and everyone can test it. We are now finalizing the test of the new features such as the direct voter, the governance action submission, the DRep directory, and the proposal discussion, and they will be ready for the Chang hard fork. Also, the governance tools working group has finalized the process to distribute these governance tools to give ownership to the community, and now this process is in testing. Furthermore, the Constitutional Committee portal is progressing in its development and is now added support for the interim constitution. And since Essential Cardano tools again is live for everyone to test for the past 6 months, we now have live a participation dashboard where you can see how many people have been using it, how many people have registered as DReps, how many people have connected their wallet, and you also have many more data. I encourage everyone to keep testing on Essential Cardano tools. Again, this is the GovTool version connected to SanchoNet, and keep sending ideas and feedback. I also would like to give an update about the new Intersect member area. First version has launched to all the current members. This new member area allows existing and new members to manage their membership, to manage their account. And in future releases, this will provide access to the membership benefits. This will provide access also to participation NFTs. And it will give a structured process for everyone to join Intersect working groups and Intersect committees, as well as accessing the Intersect internal voting and governance. So we invite everyone who is already a member to join the member area on members.intersectmbo.org, and whoever wants to join as a member to go on the Intersect website, intersectmbo.org, or on members.intersectmbo.org and join through the new process.
Thanks, Lorenzo. And so now we head over to Christian and Tex to talk more about open source and that exciting announcement that I mentioned.
Hi everyone, welcome to this update from May. Open source has been progressing rapidly. We actually do have some exciting news that Intersect is joining the Hyperledger and Linux Foundation to help collaborate our different ecosystems and bring together open source, and they've actually been helping us with our model and implementation on the side with their expert advice, and we're excited to be a part of their ecosystem and their foundation, and just can't wait to see what opportunities are going to blossom out of this as we tie Cardano and these bigger picture items all together into one nice bow. Also related to the open source strategy, we have met with the committee and actually have made one amendment to the strategy which helps hit home more on our community pillar, which is focused on enabling the community to actually try and go through a process of making their own changes into mainnet code. We are trialing a pilot program with this by the diversification of maintainers from the May to near the end of June, and our results will be out in Q2. More to come on that. I also wanted to introduce a new member to our team. He may have already made his rounds with some people, but he's our new open source champion. His name's Tex, and I'll let him talk more related to committee updates.
Thanks, Christian. Hey everybody, my name is Tex. I am the open source program manager here at Intersect. Of course, our goals here at the open source office, we do want to make sure that we are encouraging and engaging our community to highlight the importance of their contributions overall. We'll do a quick recap of the goals that are set forth in the open source strategy. Goal 1 of the open source strategy, we look to ensure that all Intersect maintained Cardano projects are aligned with the project lifecycle framework, which defines sustainability, risk mitigation, and commitment to strategy guidelines. With goal 2, we look to ensure that 70% of our Intersect maintained projects are aligned with our governance strategy, which means open communication through various channels with the community. Goal 3, per the pilot that Christian mentioned, we're looking to ensure that we have at least 50% of our Intersect maintained projects supported by 2 maintainers that are community members and Cardano builders. With goal 4, regarding our Intersect maintained projects, we're looking to make sure that about 80% of our projects are in line with the standardized security framework that we are set forth. Our last goal, goal 5, we're looking to make sure that we can focus on ensuring that we have community members who can commit directly to mainnet code. This gives a full stack approach to Cardano development here, ensuring that we have commitment from members of the community who have the opportunity to adapt the future of Cardano. Lastly, one last piece for open source. We are, as Intersect, actually coordinating a footprint analysis. This will help us to better understand where Cardano has come from and where Cardano is now with Intersect being involved, and analyze what has changed and how that may have improved. More to come.
So thanks Lorenzo, Valeria, Christian and Tex. It's been a bumper update in May again for Intersect. And a big thanks to all the members who are contributing to the Cardano ecosystem through committees and working groups. And I'm looking very much forward to seeing all of this progress as the year goes on. So thank you, and I'll see you in June.
So thanks to everyone for that update, and be sure to sign up for the newsletter at intersectmbo.org, and for more detailed information you'll find all the links below. That's nearly it for May, but before we go, just a few other things to bring to your attention. Catalyst Fund 12 is now in full swing, and we'll have Chris and Danny on the show next month to talk more about the work that they've been doing. But of course, it's now up to you, the community, to help review the proposals submitted in Fund 12. So if you want to get involved, make sure you get your reviews in by June the 6th and play your part in helping define the next wave of projects building on Cardano. Last week, John O'Connor and his team launched RealFi, a project aiming to create a bridge between emerging markets and private credit investors. The team's on a mission to build tech solutions that unlock emerging markets, and we hope you'll support them along the way. So check out the new website and follow their journey on X, and of course, you can find all the links below. Well, that's it for May. Join us again next month for more highlights from the team here at IOG, and just some of the projects building out the Cardano ecosystem. But for now, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you're the first to know when new videos drop. Including some new videos from IOG Chief Scientist Professor Agalos Kias and his IO research team on their latest groundbreaking work on blockchain scaling, pricing, and more, including a special whiteboard on Ouroboros Laos, also known as input endorsers, coming to you very soon. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you in June.